Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Thank you to those of you returning, and for those of you who are new here, my name is Chloe Brennan. I am a lightweight strong woman and I am going to give you my top 5 tips on how to get into Strongwoman or Strongman. I'm not going to exclude the guys from this. Before I delve into my top tips, I thought it would be helpful for me to tell you a bit about how I got into Strongwoman and my journey so far. So I've always been a dead sporty kid. When I was younger I did football, I did athletics, did swimming for a while, but I'll be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan. Still hate swimming now. I did gymnastics, figured I was too tall to be a gymnast, so then started trampolining, which was my first real insight into competing. I got to a decent level in trampolining. I got to like the lower end of British level in one of the disciplines there, so that was pretty cool and I really enjoyed that, and I think that's where I first got my thirst for competition and my love for competing. Following that, kind of lost it a bit really. I went to uni, my partner Matt was into the gym and he was like, Chloe, you need to start going to the gym, this is really cool, blah blah blah. I'd always been quite self-conscious about my shoulders. I always thought I was really broad. I'm not, but I thought I was. So I was like, no, I don't want to lift any weights, I don't want to get any bigger. I kept saying that I had bad knees. I got shin splints a lot when I was trampolining, so yeah, can't do cardio, it's gonna hurt my knees. So that was that. Anyway, I ended up joining a gym. I did some body pump classes. I wandered around the gym, not really sure what I was doing. So when I didn't know how to use a machine, I would just go on the rower or the treadmill because, you know, it's what we do when we don't have a clue what we're doing. And then my partner Matt got into something called International All-Round Weightlifting. The association is called Iowa. It's quite a small organisation and they do loads and loads of really weird, funky lifts. So they do things like the Steinborn. You might have seen Martin's Lissis get the world record in that lift. There's one-hand snatches, there's something called a dumbbell barbell anyhow, which is where you have a dumbbell and a barbell and you literally have to get them above your head any way that you can. So Matt started doing that and then I somehow ended up there, and that is where I first started lifting. So that was probably, how old would I have been? Probably would have been like 19 or 20. I'm 24 now. So first time I went into the gym, I really struggled to lift 80 kilos on a deadlift. I could barely put 30 kilos above my head. It was tough. I wasn't naturally gifted. So anyway, on with that I went. While I was doing that, I did a few competitions and I fell in love with the powerlifting lift. So my plan was to go into powerlifting. Love squatting, love deadlifting. I think my deadlift went up to about 150 while I was doing that, and my squat went up to about 110, 120. So that was really, really fun. And then off the back of that, we did a couple of strongman events within that. So there was like a barrel load onto the back of a lorry, just some like really funky old time strongman stuff really. And Matt decided from that he wanted to do strongman. Matt does his first strongman competition and they end up being a man down on the deadlift. So Matt's like, go on Chloe, you do it. I'm like, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. Anyway, he pushes me in and I end up doing the deadlift. So I think they dropped the weight to about 100 kilos, the guys were doing 200 kilos. I did 20 reps in a minute I think, bearing in mind I'm in my own clothes, borrowed someone's belt. No straps or anything, just winging it, doing it for fun. And then that's when I met Ant Brown, who heads up CA, who do the women's pathway in the UK, so kind of the qualifiers that go to England's and Britain's Strongest Woman. And he was like, you know, you could be alright at this, come train and we'll see what happens. So I headed down to a gym called The Farm, which at the time was owned by Dave Meir. It still is owned by Dave Meir. He competed at quite a high level in the UK, and between him and Ant, they were great. They kind of introduced me to lots of different lifts. I started playing with the log, I did loads of deadlifts, started playing with the yoke, the farmers, just got really into it, and they encouraged me to do my first competition. So my first competition was Trojan's Strongest Woman. So I will put up a photo here somewhere of me at that competition, and then following that I did a novice competition which I won, which was great. And then the guys at the gym were like, yep, you're going to do the Midlands qualifier, which scared the hell out of me. I was like, I ain't ready for a national competition. So I went in with no expectations really, apart from to hopefully be able to do all the events. I ended up winning that competition and then went on to come second in England's Strongest Woman and third in Britain's Strongest Woman that year in the lightweight category. At England's, I placed between Farah Fonseca and Kate Connolly, who were and still are female athletes that I really look up to. My goal was like, if I can ever be anywhere near the standard they're at, then I'm happy. That's crazy. So to be in the podium between them, I remember it just being really, really surreal and a really proud moment, but also a moment I thought, you know, I could be kind of good at this. So I stuck at it. I loved it. I started to watch some of the other girls. So I was looking at people like Donna Moore and Jenny Todd, the competitions they were going to. One in particular competition that I saw them at, like viewing online, was the Arnold, which is over in Ohio in America. And since I watched the first year of that, after me getting into Strongwoman, I was like, that is what I want to do. That was my biggest goal, going to compete at the Arnold. And in March this year, I actually went and competed at the Arnold, and I had the absolute best time, and somehow managed to rock up in the finals and end up placing 4th in my first ever international competition at a comp that I could only ever have dreamt of competing at. And by getting that placing, I've qualified to go again next year. So, you know, it's just been absolutely nuts from starting a few years back thinking that I couldn't even make an England's qualifier to placing 4th in a World Championships. It's just been one hell of a journey, and I've loved every single minute of it, and it's just a sport that I am so passionate about. It's taught me more about myself than I will ever know, and it keeps me pushing harder to find out what I can do. So that's a bit about how I got into Strongwoman. Anyway, that's enough about me and my journey. Now let's talk about how you can get started in Strongwoman. So my first tip number 1, get talking to people. I mean, social media is such a great platform and it is so readily available. Instagram is perfect to get talking to Strongwoman. There is loads of us on there. If you have any questions at all, just drop someone a message, let them know that you're there, let them know that you're interested. Any question at all, so like, how did we get started, what's involved in Strongwoman, all those kinds of things. Just get talking. It's such a good way to get into the sport and to get a feel about what it's about, what the people are about, and also like, all of us know a load of different comps that are on, so if you'd already got started and wanted to look into that, we can give you advice on that. We can give you advice on what to expect, the people that we're around when we train, how often we train, beginners programs, those kinds of things. Loads of people will be able to point you in the right direction. So a few people that you can talk to. I'm always happy to talk people's ear off about Strongwoman. I know Rhiannon Lovelace, who I compete with, is massively into getting other people into the sport. Rebecca Cumpsty is another lady who is always happy to talk. Donna Moore is great. There is so many of us on there. Just drop us a message and we will see how we can help, because I'm sure that we will be able to give you some advice. There's a few groups on Facebook as well which are awesome and great sources of information when you are starting out. So the ones worth taking a look at are Starting Strongman. That is great for anyone who wants to get into the sport. People post questions in there all the time about kit, about training, about recovery, eating, sleep, like anything you can think of, people discuss it in there. And there are people of all levels in that group as well. So people just starting out and people right at the top as well. So you are going to get so much feedback and so much good advice on there. There is another one called Breaking Barriers, which is great. There is I Love Girl Clothing, and they have a group called Girl Army, spelled GRRRL Army. Check that out, that is brilliant, a wicked source of support as well. And also for British Strongwomen, there is a page for CA who run the pathway. I will put a link of all of those below so you can access those groups and kind of check them out and see what they're all about. Tip number 2 is find a local gym where you can train strongman. Easier said than done in the corona apocalypse, but most local gyms have some kind of Facebook page, so even though at this very moment in time we can't get out to those gyms, it's worth just dropping them a message saying that you're interested, so then when this is all over you kind of already got somewhere to start. If it's not the corona apocalypse when you're watching this, then yeah, message people on Facebook, see where they train, see if they know any local gyms. You can drop a comment below if you are in the UK and I can try and see if I know a gym local to you. More than happy to do that. And also, when we're not able to go to the gym, like at the moment, Strongwoman is actually a great sport to be getting started in because you can do it with anything. So if you're going for a walk and you see like a heavyish rock or log, pick it up, carry it, see if you can put it over your head, just play about it. Like, there's so many odd things you can be doing to getting into it. But yeah, point 2, find a gym. Tip number 3, take time to play about, try different events. I mean, in Strongman, Strongwoman, there are so many different things. So you've got like log, giant dumbbell, yoke, farmers, stones, Conan's wheel, sled pushes, sled drags, as well as your normal squat, bench, deadlift, well not really bench, but you can do it as an accessory, overhead presses. There is so much, so have a play, get on everything, but also make sure that you're doing it safely. Don't be going for big weights when you haven't done them before and you haven't learned how to use the implement properly. There is loads available out there to kind of get your technique right. There's a lot on YouTube. The groups that I mentioned previously are a great place for advice on kind of how do I do this. Also, if you want to invest in a sport, I would say getting a coach is worth it. Perhaps not when you're initially starting out because it can be pricey, but if you're kind of looking into competing and taking it seriously, or just really want to learn properly, there are a plethora of online coaches. So I'm coached by Jenny Todd, who is just brilliant, but she also has kind of online programs that you can follow as well. There is, I think, Shane Jaman, I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, but MST Systems, I've heard that he does very good coaching. Dan Hipkiss is another guy that does strongman coaching. There's a lot out there, both male, female, you know, so have a look into coaching if that's what you're into. But yeah, have a play, have a try, make sure you are being safe because, you know, when you're picking up weird, heavy, odd-shaped implements, it is easy to hurt yourself if it's not done properly, so safety first. Number 4, this is a biggie because we all do it. Do not compare yourself to everybody else. This is your journey. So I'm guilty of it, I do it all the time. I see someone else lift something that I can't lift, I'm like, why can't I lift that? Like, I'll be training with Bex, who is the under 82 Britain's strongest woman, and she's lifting more than me, and I get annoyed because I'm not lifting what she's lifting. Why? She's a British champion, she holds a like world record, and she's in a higher weight class than me. Of course I can't lift what she can lift. You just got to accept it. You're on your journey. If you've done something that you haven't done before, then bravo. As soon as you start comparing yourself to others, you lose sight of your goals and why you started, and it's not as much fun. Focus on you. Tip number 5, have fun, don't lose sight of why you started. There are so many competitions out there, and I would say it's never too early to get started. There's loads of first timers comps out there with really light weights to start. It's just a great opportunity to get involved, see what it's about, meet other people and become part of such an amazing community. So yeah, tip number 5, most important, have fun, enjoy it, don't lose sight of why you started. Welcome to Strongwoman. So I hope that you've found that video helpful and it has given you some pointers on where to start on your Strongwoman or Strongman journey. If there is anything that I haven't covered that you feel needs answering, then please drop your questions below in the comments section. And also, if you are a strongman or a strong woman and you can think of anything that I haven't included in this video, drop it below and I'm sure it will prove very, very helpful for people that have found themselves on this video. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and I will see you all again very, very soon.
Bye!